He gets walnuts.
Bad breaks. The link's still wrong.
Hell no. What?
It says Co1 Dandy on stream, so.
All right, perfect.
I'll fix it though.
Our boy Macaronice fixed it.
Macaronis. All right. There.
Okay. Are we good to go on your end?
Want to get rid of me, so I'm just gonna jump out here. Good luck.
I'm ready to start the timer. You let me know.
Okay. Okay, and away we go. All right, so hey everybody, I'm PJ, and this is Co1 Dendy. He is the current record holder in this game by a substantial margin. The dude is a monster. So this is Battletoads and Double Dragon. It's the sequel to the original NES Battletoads. But this game is mostly a beat 'em up. It doesn't have as much platforming focus, or really as much focus on like the vehicle stages. But it's a really cool stage with some really interesting mechanics. So as you would expect, you can choose from either of the Lee brothers and all three Battletoads. He's picking Bimmy here because the Lee brothers just in general have a better moveset than the Toads do, mostly due to their aerial attack. The Toads have just like an air punch, which doesn't actually do damage. It just like locks enemies down so they can do a ground punch. But the Lee brothers have this jump kick, which is super, super good. And then there are some other reasons to pick the Lee brothers over the Toads. Their item pickup animation is much faster, among other things. But the main thing we're going to be using here, regardless of character, is abusing the dash status. So dashing in Battletoads games is really, really good. The dash attack has like higher priority than every non-projectile attack in the game, so you just always want to use it. But the game prevents you from using it in the air ordinarily. Naturally, it's a Battletoads game, so we can trick it. So he's going to be abusing dash jumps to carry dash status into the air and do dash attacks in the air and do finishing moves in the air. We'll be seeing a lot of that in Stage 2. But coming up soon is a Bobo. A Bobo normally takes like 16 hits or something, but there's a really small window after you hit a Bobo where you can actually hit him with a finishing move like this. So that knee press does 15 times the normal damage. Rather 15 times the damage of a dash attack. So it's an instant kill on him and Big Blag. So right here, what he's doing is a dash jump, and then he's targeting the capsule that's on the wall and winding up a finishing blow on that, but he continues to move forward, so the finishing blow lands on the enemy and instantly kills the enemy. And that's the main thing that you're going to be doing in this stage. Stage 2-1 is one of the coolest stages in the entire game. I absolutely love this. It's really tough to do, because if you're early on the redirect, you end up breaking the capsule with a dash attack. And if you're late, then you don't get a finishing move because you're no longer targeting the capsule. So that was absolutely perfect. He killed that. And naturally, it's a Battletoads game, so you can just pull the dynamite back through the wall. And you can kill those guys with a single dynamite instead of needing 3 or 5, depending on the dynamite thrower. He collects a 1-up there because it's free time. After he kills the enemy, you have to wait for them. You have to wait for the body to vanish before the screen will scroll. So there's no harm there. So 2-2, he's going to do the same thing here and redirect a knee press on a banana walker there. This fight is pretty tough because the Williams at the bottom start spawning based on when you kill the first banana walker. So he's on a bit of a timer to get in position to kill all the other enemies, but obviously no problem for him. What you're seeing him here do here is try and kill as many enemies as he can with the air kick instead of the dash kick. The dash attack has longer hit stop, so that's when you hit an enemy and the screen pauses for dramatic effect. That's substantially longer for a dash attack than an air kick. It's like 10 frames or something for a dash attack and a handful fewer than that for an air kick. So just some micro optimizations there. There, he carried dash status into a jump and dash jump status into a bike and flew off the top of the screen. You can do some fun tricks in this section, like continuously dash attacking while on the bike in the air. And you can just fly over the top of the entire stage. It's pretty incredible. But this is the Battletoads and Double Dragon variation of Turbo Tunnels. It's not really Turbo Tunnels, it's more or less just tunnels. Alright, I'm gonna see what he's gonna do here. Okay, good. Alright, so this section is on another timer. So no matter how quickly you kill these guys, you're always gonna end up at the end of the stage at the same time. That's not entirely true. All right, so depending on how quickly you kill these guys, you get a certain number of capsules afterwards. And the capsule wave is slightly slower than the Williams wave. So it's faster to not kill any of the Williamses, but then you don't get any extra lives from the capsules. And this game is ridiculously hard, so I'm really glad that he's actually killing the Williamses and getting the extra lives. In a record run, he does not. He just dodges the Williamses and then they go away. And you save a few seconds. But yeah, he's gonna want as many lives as he can get, because if things go wrong in this game, they go really wrong. Alright, so coming up is Big Blag. He's a Battletoads staple. He's gonna try and do the same thing that he did on a Bobo. But the window for hitting Big Blag with a finishing blow is really small. So I think he uses a throw setup. We'll see what he does here. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so as you can see, Big Blag doesn't stay on the ground. After you throw him, he's ready to go and starts punching. So it's really hard to actually hit him with the knee press. It's really hard to even get the knee press to trigger, and it's even harder to get the knee press to land without getting punched. Alright, so stage 3 is the first 2D level in the game. There's no depth access here. Well, there's no depth access you can see. So you're able to crouch if you push down. And the Lee brothers and the Toads have unique crouch attacks, but there's no real reason to use them. So in these screens with the arrows, you're supposed to throw a rope and grapple onto that pulley there and swing across. But thanks to the dash jump, you can just jump clear across the pit. The dash jump is a remarkably powerful tool in this game. Alright, there are 2 Lindas here. The one on the left takes only 1 hit, the one on the right takes 2. And then here you're supposed to dodge these saw blades, but if you're using either of the Lee twins, you can just use this the special attack that you get from hugging the wall. Just like in stage 2 of the original Battletoads, they have a tornado instead of the anchor or the metal ball, whatever it's supposed to be. And when you use that, they can just hug the other wall and stay there. And I think, at least for the Toads, you have to use Pimple in order to hit that lever from the ground because his jump height is 1 pixel higher than the others. I think Bimmy also has a 1 pixel higher jump height than Jimmy, but I'm not sure. Really nice. Lindas are tough to kill because you can't really safely do a finishing move on them. They wake up really early. So he's just kicking him into the pit. You can do a ladder dash that is carrying a dash status onto a ladder there, but it's really dangerous in this stage because sometimes when you do a ladder dash, the game sucks you into the background and you lose all of your lives. So for the first gap, he's just doing a really precise dash jump to skip the fence. And on the second one, he's just running off the ledge entirely and respawning on the other side. He's doing some precise tornadoes on these cannons. They tend to get sucked into the tornado, and the tornado will continuously hit the cannon. You can get like 15 hits on the cannon with the tornado, but every single time you hit them, you get the hit stop. So he's trying to hit like just the very fringe of the cannon's hitbox, so it only hits once, but still kills him. Really nice. 6 hits for 6 cannons. Bird wave here. Bird wave is dangerous. Birds are really unpredictable. Birds are jerks. The game also has some trouble with targeting, so he tried to hit that one bird and the other one took the shot for him. It's a screenplay. Alright, so he's gonna try and do something called a void jump here. Nice! Sweet. Alright, so the void jumps are frame perfect and pixel perfect. The pixel perfect part you can get around with certain setups, like dropping off this pipe and running off that ledge. But you have to jump on the frame that your character's position is the very lowest pixel. If you're an absolute god, you can void jump across this entire screen, but it's something like 23 consecutive frame perfect inputs, half of which are blind and variable. So we generally just go for 4 of them. So just like the original Battletoads, if you kick birds enough, you'll get an extra life, but it's really difficult in this because they don't get pinned to the wall. They bounce around really erratically, so it's really tough to get extra lives from the birds, but he's sitting pretty well here with lives. Should be okay. Oh my god, it's so fast when you don't have a partner, lagging the game like crazy here. Alright, so all kinds of rubble falls down here. There are sometimes safe spots in the corner, but it's usually safer to just stay at the bottom and reactively dodge things. Alright, so there are 2 more fences at the bottom. He's just going to dash jump over the first and then suicide over the second, just like he did before. Again, you can ladder dash, but it's really risky! Nice! Void jump, dude! Oh, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so that ledge is the proper height for a void jump setup as well. It's still frame perfect jump, but alright, so Roper, you can't do the finishing blow redirect because this boss, every single attack is a finishing blow. That was a disgusting loop. You ordinarily can't hit that boss with air attacks, but if your spacing is really good, you can trick the game into letting you do an air kick without triggering like a finishing blow on him. So you can get 2 air kicks in one jump and just trap him against the wall if your timing is perfect, but it is really hard to do. So these meteors, or asteroids rather, once you break a big one, it splits into small ones, but the way it splits is predictable. So he's positioning in such a way that he knows where they're going to crumble, and then when he turns, he'll be able to hit all of them sometimes. Alright, so this is kind of the bonus round here. You get an extra life if you shoot all of the mines in these waves. So he's going to get 2 free lives from these 2 waves, and then the ship starts shooting out these bombs, and every once in a while, instead of a bomb, it'll shoot a 1-up. So he's going to try and grab some 1-ups. Usually you can get 2, but it depends on what luck you get. Sometimes you only get 1, sometimes you get 3. But up next is a UFO wave, which is the most dangerous part of this stage. There are four waves of UFOs, and they get progressively more health. Green, red, gray, blue. So green dies pretty quickly, and then red has more, and then the gray and the blue UFOs are absolute beasts, and they're extremely frantic and hard to chase down, but he's super, super good at this. Get him! Yeah, so this is what the blue UFO usually does. He still did it without a death, which is amazing. Very, very well done. So he's taking a death there during the pre-battle auto-scroll, just to get some health back, because sometimes it's worthwhile to trade hits. This section has a big problem with sprite limitations, as you might expect. So sometimes, we probably won't see it, but sometimes it's better to not fire the gun. And then when you release fire, it'll fire a whole volley of bullets. It'll fire all of the bullets that it couldn't spawn. But yeah, otherwise this is just mashing and sacrificing your arm for the good of speed. When only one side on those turrets, when only one side remains, they start firing quicker. So he's trying to wear them down equally. That was a really good stage 4. Really, really good. Deathless stage 4 is ridiculous. Alright. So that was our 1 token vehicle stage. We're back to beating stuff up now. The missile is a really cool level. I'm a big fan of this stage. Dash jumping and ladder dashing is really good here. So that's not the normal speed at which you climb a ladder, but by kind of like wiggling between down and forward, you can trick the game into letting you dash on a ladder. One point here is if you release down at the wrong time, you trigger super bad glitches on these ladders. One of them lets you fly around the screen, usually soft locks you, and apparently you can get the sucked into the background glitch on those ladders as well. So he's just making sure that after he does a ladder dash, he holds down until he's safely on the ground so he doesn't trigger those glitches. Not sure what he was trying there. Not gonna lie to you. That's probably some trick that I'm unaware of. Alright, so death abuse there to skip climbing the ladder. These guys spawn based on camera position. So by doing the death abuse there, he moves the camera far enough to the right that it starts spawning the enemies, and it respawns them on the top, so it's just faster to do that. And again, he has so many lives that he's safe to do that. So he's doing the same trick he did on Roper on these general slaughters. Really, all of the bosses and all of the mini bosses from now on are hit normally by finishing blows. So he's trying to get around that because finishing blows have a lot of hit stop and they have a long recovery afterwards. He's getting around that limitation by using these air kicks, but the timing and spacing on this is really tight. This is just an outstanding run so far. All right, so in this section, this entire section, all of the enemies will spawn once another one is dead. So he's going to be killing these rats with specific timings and specific positioning so that he's ready to fight the enemies that just spawned. Now, dynamite throwers will come out from the windows here. I think what he's going to try and do is leave one rat alive, because 2 dynamite throwers is a lot of lag. And if you're lucky like this, the rat will walk into a dynamite, and the dynamite will kill him. So it saves you some time from having to kill the enemies, and you also save some lag frames. And this is our last general slaughter. So that uppercut there is one of the finishing blows that you normally get if you just push the attack button. Same with that elbow drop, and he has a roundhouse kick that he does sometimes. Yeah, so his positioning, you need a really precise positioning to do the air kick loop, and he can't set it up anymore. So he was just doing a normal dash attack loop, which is totally fine. He got 2 really good loops on the other 2 slaughters. The Lee brothers are able to do air kicks in this section, and the Toads can't. The Toads have to do punch string into finisher. So the Lee brothers are substantially faster in this section. Just another reason to use them over the Toads. He's gonna death abuse here, saves a fire cycle and ladder time. And just like the original Robo-Manus, he's gonna try and just bounce this guy off the wall, not let him land. And again, he's using air kicks. It's really incredible to see him opt for the air kick loop on this boss, because it's really tight to land these. Yeah, because sometimes you get the roundhouse if your positioning is a little off. So I've always done it with a dash attack, but the air kick loop does save time on hit stop, and you have slightly better control if you're Dundee. Alright, so the Williams is here. We can't redirect off of capsules because there aren't any, so he's just trying to do basic knockdown, knock them on the ground, and then do a finisher on them there. But the lamps can be knocked down and used as finisher setups. So he's going to be using this one to kill as many of these Williamses as he can. That's part of the risk here. Really good, though. Really good. Alright, and these 6 just die in 1 hit, so no big deal here. Alright, so Shadow Boss, again, we're going to try the same, and by we, I mean him. I have no involvement here. He's going to try and do the same air kick loop that he did on Roper and the General Slaughters in the previous stage. There's one additional benefit to doing it on Shadow Boss, and that is after 10 hits, Shadow Boss will do this this invincible screen-wide shell roll-around attack. Unfortunate luck here. Been getting a lot of teleports. It's random whether or not Shadow Boss will teleport on reaction. Yeah, really unfortunate luck. But anyways, after 10 hits, he'll do this this attack, this invincible shell attack. But you can skip this if you don't let him touch the ground. So if you do a really tight air kick loop and you juggle him perfectly, then you can skip the shell attack. And what we saw there, he started an elbow drop in midair. Again, that just reiterates how tight the air kick loops are. The game thought that he was too close to Shadow Boss, so it started doing a finisher, the elbow drop, even though he was in the air. And the elbow drop moved him up, and that brought him to a height where he was able to grab the lamp. So the game really does not want you to do this loop. It's incredibly tight. The game also has issues spawning this lamp during that death sequence, sprite limitations and whatnot, so you just keep kicking it for 500 points. Alright, the final stage. Stage 7. This stage is it's a really cool stage, but the boss is a nightmare. Yeah. Alright, so this wave of alien dudes, there's a wall on the right side, so by kicking an enemy off the right side of the screen, they bounce off and come back, and he can set up a finishing blow. Alright, so Dark Queen has one pattern. She pops up from the ground, she throws a fireball, and she retreats into the ground. But while she's in the ground, she still hurts you with the fire. And she accelerates constantly over the course of the fight. So what he's doing is trying to stun lock her. By hitting her after her hit stun wears off from an attack, but before she descends into the ground too far, he just keeps her in this loop. But if you do the loop too quickly, if you hit her while she's still in her hit stun, she descends immediately into the floor. Like that. But he got a lot of hits off, which is really, really good. I think she takes 20 hits, or 30 hits to kill. Wow. Yeah, only 3 short. That was amazing. Super, super good fight. And time is going to be when the screen freezes here. Right now. Yeah, so that was a massacre. I don't know what the time was on that. Looking now. 21:58. Holy moly. So his record is a 21:17, which is a disgusting run. But for reference, the PB that Mecha Richter and I have for co-op is a 23:29. So his marathon run was a minute and a half faster, casual minute and a half faster than our co-op PB. Dendy is just an absolute beast at this game, and this is one of the hardest NES runs in my opinion. Super hard game. So very, very good run. Congrats on the run, Dendy. It's excellent. But yeah, don't go anywhere. There's plenty of good NES stuff to come.